And Pat, I would love to introduce Pat Conway, who is the Director of Nursing here at Greg Lawrence. And the next smoker, she's going to tell us about her story. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. I'm going to try to remember some of the things that James said because it really resonated with me in my travel from smoking to not smoking. Excuse me. Both my parents smoked, and in 1967, when the Surgeon General's report came out, my father decided to quit smoking. However, he smoked a pipe, so it kind of wasn't fair. It was kind of cheating. But eventually, he gave up the pipe. My mother never stopped smoking until she wasn't able to drive. I couldn't get to the store to buy cigarettes, and my father refused to get them for her. So she quit at 80 at just cold turkey. Just was what it, that's the way it was going to be. My smoking basically, I really learned how to smoke in nursing school, believe it or not. And there were smokers. By that I mean there were these porches, these outside like fire escapes. And that's where you could smoke. You could smoke in your room. I think there was other places, but that was like the place to be. I mean, if you weren't out on the smoker smoking, you didn't get all the good gossip. You didn't know who was doing what, and so on and so forth. Who was kicked out, who was moving statues around the halls. So that's really where I learned to smoke. At that time, back in the dark ages, you could smoke in the hospital, you could smoke in the cafeteria, we would smoke during meetings. James was telling me this unbelievable story about a woman, a nurse at Lawrence General who used to smoke while giving meds. She had an ashtray on her med cart. I was never that bad. So it was just really it was part of society. And have any of you ever seen the ads for cigarettes from the 50s and 60s, from the 50s really? How doctors recommend smoking because it'll calm you down. So it was way before anybody knew how awful smoking could be for you. So my wake-up call came, I thought I had the flu, and so I was home for a few days, and then I woke up one morning and I had a temperature of 103. So I called my physician, I was admitted to the hospital. I had a severe case of pneumonia, to the point where I came that close to going to the intensive care unit and being intubated. Every time, and the fever really made me delirious. Every time I woke up at night, there was a doctor in my room. That was really kind of, even though I wasn't thinking right, I knew that meant something, that I was kind of really sick. At first they couldn't figure out the right antibiotic. Finally, they brought the infectious disease physicians in. And anyway, so I did get better. I was out of work for a month, in the hospital for a week, which was years ago. It's really not heard of now, and out of work for at least a month. And if you've ever had pneumonia, it's really very difficult to recover from. You're just exhausted all the time. So by the time in the hospital, they asked me if I wanted a nicotine patch, and I said, sure. And so they put one on me, and this was, I don't know, years ago. It wasn't gum, I think it was just nicotine patches. And it gave me such a headache. I thought my head was going to explode. So I knew that wasn't going to work. So by the time I felt better, I hadn't been smoking for about a month. And I thought, well, this is an opportunity. I've thought about it before, I've thought about it, but I never had like a wake-up call. I never got to the point where, yes, I'm going to do it. But to me, just, why go back a month? Is the way I figured it. I've gained a month, and somehow I'll get through to whatever they said, the 3 months. The first 6 weeks, 6 weeks is difficult. So I've already done a month, so I can get through. And I won't say it wasn't easy, but it wasn't as difficult as I had anticipated in, you know, at earlier times. Of course, my biggest reason for deciding to continue smoking was because I would gain weight. Oh no. Smoking was better than gaining weight at the time. So anyway, every time I got an urge to smoke, I tried to use some of those weight loss kind of things, brush your teeth, you know, because you don't want to put anything in your mouth, your teeth feel clean, or just wait a minute and the urge will go away. And of course there's all these triggers. Anytime the phone rang, I couldn't answer the phone without lighting a cigarette. If you had a drink, you had a cigarette. So you had to get over all those little triggers that were so such a habit that you didn't even think about it. So I'm happy to say that I made it. I haven't had a cigarette. I don't remember what year, but I think it's about 20 years now. I have no desire. Can't stand the smell of smoke. It's very difficult. I felt relieved when I stopped smoking because I didn't have to worry about buying cigarettes, having matches. And at the time, it was in the 80s, I think, it was becoming more difficult to be a smoker. And certainly things had changed at the hospital. So anyway, so I'm really proud of myself for having done it and having the willpower to stick to it. And so it is willpower. It is an addiction, and like any addiction, you really have to take it sometimes seconds by seconds, minute by minute, hours, and then days at a time. So thank you very much for listening to my story.